They came, they practiced, they conquered. We are having 15 million plus of user base across the globe. We are having now 60,000 plus course registrations in just last 1 year, including 10,000 plus article submission and 30,000 plus problem solved. We are having around 50 plus course launched, and including that we are also having 97 million minutes of time spent on our portal. That's how much our geeks love us. So this time we are making the resolution to fueling yours. So now it's time for you to choose either you want to become an expert in data structures or you want to excel in competitive programming. So now get set to explore in 2022 with us. So this year, learn, study, achieve and grow with Geeks for Geeks.
Hi and welcome to Geeks for Geeks. Today we would be having a webinar with Rachit Jain. Now, the first and foremost thing, why this webinar? Okay, this webinar is conducted to help students understand the preparatory options they have to pursue a successful career in software engineering and get good jobs. We also have a Ask Me Anything session, which would be there in the comment section, where you can ask Rachit any question related to our topic in hand. So, without any further ado, let's welcome Rachit. Hi, Rachit, how are you?
Hey everyone, I'm good. It's winter and raining, so literally pretty chill. How about you?
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty chill here too. Okay, so people know you, people admire you a lot, people kind of you give them motivation. But still, can we have a brief introduction from you?
Sure. So my name is Rachit, and I'm a software developer and YouTuber and instructor. I work at a fintech company as an SG3, and I have prior work experience with Microsoft and Flipkart. I also run a programming YouTube channel with around close to 2 lakh subscribers. It's based on coding interviews, data structures, algorithms, and system design.
Okay, fair enough. So, can we know a bit about your college life? How it all went, how you all started, and what was everything? Because people nowadays don't have much college experience due to this COVID and COVID scenario.
Can you repeat the question? Your voice broke down in middle.
Okay, okay, okay. So, am I clear now? Is my voice clear now?
Yep, I can hear.
Okay, fair enough. So let's. So I was asking, as this COVID thing is going on in the country, so people are not having that much experience of college life. So can we know a bit about how it all started? What was your college journey? How you started with this coding thing, and how you graduated and everything?
All right. So you're talking about my journey, right?
Yeah.
So I graduated in 2017 from IIT Roorkee, and I was doing electrical engineering over there for 4 years, sort of, because I was wholeheartedly I wanted to prepare as myself as a software developer. So I spent the first year doing really nothing but enjoying the hard work that we did for 2 years. And after that, when we heard that a lot of seniors were placed in Google, Microsoft, that's when the bell rang that, okay, we are not here just to spend your remaining 3 years like this, but you also want to work hard and pursue a career similar to theirs. Also, I understood that I wanted to be a software developer, but I'm in electrical engineering, so I will have to put in extra effort in order to compete with the other students, even including students from computer science branch. So second year is something in which I got pretty serious, and I had been really working hard ever since then up to now. And I also tried to maintain a good CGPA close to 9, so that in case you wanted to do masters later on, you have a good GRE score and you have good CGPA, so that opens a lot of doors for good universities in US. I did not plan to do masters and I have not yet done it. I have 4 years of experience as a software developer now, but I have still not done masters because um, like I just did not want to be in a position in which I wanted to do, because you never get clarity. I remember that it was second year that had ended and I was like, oh my god, I am still not clear what I have to do in future. And then third year also same situation, and in fourth year I was like, okay, it's not going to be clear out. Let's just work hard and make sure that we are prepared in case we want to take such options in future. So yeah, that's how I would sum it up.
Okay, so kind of you were prepared for the worst and for the best also.
Yep.
Yeah. So let's start with the first question. That the most common question from kind of every engineering graduate, that how to get a good placement from college.
Right. I think this will vary depending on which college you are from. If you are having access to a lot of good companies like Google, Microsoft, which are visiting the campus, I think that's a very solid opportunity you have right there. You just have to beat the competition in your college, and you can guarantee that you have a really good job. For colleges in which such great companies are not coming, or the companies which are coming, you are not happy to start with them. In that case, it becomes a tricky. And in that case, you have to reach out to companies in which you have to be mentally prepared that you will need to really work hard in order to have a profile, in order to have a web presence which is interesting enough for other companies to give you a shot, because most of the companies which are good, they already have tie-ups with colleges and they do university hirings. So that really limits your doors, in the sense that you really need referrals, or you really need to be working hard in order to apply every now and then in whatever job openings you can find on LinkedIn or on other platforms. So this is how I would say, like, you have to be mentally prepared in that case, that you are good with data structures algorithms in order to clear the hack rank tests of those companies. And then
Okay.
you also need to be really good with web development and have a profile which is interesting enough for you to get shortlisted in the first place.
Okay. So in this talk, we had a thing known as referral. So you are a SDE3.
Mhm.
So you are quite
Mhm.
old in this industry. So people, suppose you
Okay.
post,
You could have
so,
said experienced, but that's
yeah,
fine.
yeah, that's the same thing. So I took it wrong. Yeah. So suppose a person from a Google, let's say Google, and he
Yeah.
posted that, yeah, their company is hiring graduates from suppose 2024 batch pass out. So a person who has already don't have any connection, he just saw because he was following that tag. So how should he approach the other person?
Mhm.
How should he stand out? How should he ask for referral?
Yeah, I think you should definitely have a resume ready with you. If you have a website, then that's really good. You need to be really precise in reaching out to LinkedIn. If you're reaching out to people on LinkedIn, because you don't know them, right? And
Yeah.
the best thing is, if you have college seniors, I think it's very easy to say we don't know anyone. I think how I would put it as is, if you do some research, you will actually find someone who actually knows you and they are working in that company. You have seniors, right? You
Yeah,
have
yeah,
seniors
yeah.
who may be experienced, and yeah, so basically if you have a good network within your college, you can basically take help from your friends and seniors in order to reach out to some member in that company who can refer you. If that's not the case, and there is some random person who you want to connect with on LinkedIn, I think it's very important to be honest, and at the same time have good communication skills with them. You need to be precise, tell very bluntly that this is a favor that you are asking from them, and tell about why they would want to refer you, right? You need, so basically go through the job description. If you feel that your skills are a good match, prove that to them in 4 to 5 lines. Like why? So basically, if it's a front end position, you should definitely throw some of your React websites that you have built, or if you have contributed to some open source projects based on React, right? So these are the kind of
Okay.
things which you need to do. You need to be honest. You just can't. So there is no like shortcut of just manifesting and playing around and do some magic in order to get this attention. It should be genuine, and at the same time it should be convincing enough.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Very fair enough. So let's move to the next question, which is a very popular question. That is DSA, data structures and algorithm, web development
Hmm.
versus machine learning. So, how would
Right.
you?
Um, so to complete the question, what should a beginner pick up or prioritize over these three?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
All right.
yeah,
I feel that all these three things are very interesting, and I have spent enough time in all of these three areas. And when I was in college, it for me how I managed this is I gave a lot of preference to DSA because I knew that I'm from a good college in which a lot of companies are going to come. So if they are shortlisting based on hacker rank tests and they are asking data structures, algorithms, right? So if that's the
yeah,
concept, that's the overall concept, then if I need to clear that, I need to be really good at it. So
yeah,
that was a sure shot that DSA is something which I really need to be good at. Also, if you are doing something and you see the results, it's kind of an addiction. You do more of that, you see more results, you do more of
yeah,
that, you see more results, and so on. So that was something which happened with me for DSA, especially on other platforms like competitive programming websites. I was really good. My rating was rising. I was learning a lot. I was enjoying that. So in that
yeah,
sense, DSA is something that always took a lot of my time, which I enjoyed. Other than that, I was also in the programming society of my college, which opened my doors to the web development part, which I again found very fascinating. And I learned quite a lot: HTML, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery, Python, Android development. So I did all those things. I learned quite a lot. I enjoyed that. I was able to build apps. The excitement of building something and then people using it, that happened with me. So we built the app that was used by all the campus. All the students in the campus were using it. So it was kind of exciting for me to be a part of that journey as well. And then machine learning was something which I was not able to pick for the first 3 years of my college. I was really into that because it was something which was creating a lot of hype, and I wanted to do that, but I was not having enough time, right? But fortunately, I was having an audit course in which I was able to study machine learning for the whole semester, which was really insightful for me. And I was able to do a bunch of projects in that, and I really enjoyed that part. So, having spent enough experience with all these things, I would say that if you are from good colleges, prioritize DSA and web development.
okay,
And I'm talking just because from the prospect of getting placed and having more opportunities. If your interest is in machine learning, I would never recommend doing DSA web development. So DSA is like basics. You will need to do that even if you want to do ML, but not to that extent of doing like competitive programming thing.
yeah,
So if you are interested in something, definitely pursue that. And I would say that do all these three things. 4 years is a very long time. And if you are starting, like, prioritize everything, spend enough time in one. If you are feeling that now you're not enjoying that, switch to other and continue. So in that sense, this is true. Also, if you're talking from job prospects, let's talk about a food ordering app, right? If you have a food ordering app, the first thing that they would want is hire front-end developers, Android developers to make their core product in which users can log in, right? So you need
yeah,
back end, you need front end, you need
yeah,
mobile apps, right?
yeah,
So that's the first thing. The first thing they would do is this, and not go to machine learning guys and then ask them to build some recommendations. That's the sugary layer, or that's the luxury which they
yeah,
will only so basically that's the thing. The opportunities for front end developers and back end developers or mobile developers is quite high. And if
okay,
you want a security in the sense that you want access to a lot of job opportunities, I would recommend prioritizing DSA and web development, and both
okay,
of them equally, because web development is something that you will do for the rest of the year. Once you get a good job, no one
mm,
settles, right? We are human beings, we want more. You start your job, your friends switch, they become SD2 faster than you, they become SD3 faster than you, they get crazy remote work opportunities, they are earning more than you. So all these
mm,
things will also happen once you start your journey as a professional software developer. So to excel in that and to reach to a level in which you are really earning good and you're proud of yourselves, I feel that you need to invest in your skills, and you can start doing that from college itself because it's something that you will do for the rest of your lives.
mm. So while the so in this talk, you told that you should be doing DSA and WebD equally. They should be treated, given
Yep.
equal importance. Now, suppose a person is just in his first year. He started with the basics of a particular language. Let's take C++. And then, how should he proceed to prioritizing both things equally? And when should he start learning the web development? Should he start doing both things at the first place only, or should he invest the time after some period of time?
I feel first year is 12 months, and
Yeah,
like once you graduate from college, you also realize that you're never going to have summer and winter vacations. So college time is having ample free time, and I think you can easily do both in the first year itself. It's just getting started with the things, right? So you can learn to build a basic website using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, right? That shouldn't take more than a month, even if you're starting from scratch.
yeah,
Talking about data structures algorithms, definitely first you need to learn a language. You need to, like, basically you need to wear the programming clothes in which you understand, okay, there are for loops, there are if else statements and all those things. That's the basic. So once you
yeah,
do that, then probably I believe that when you learn by doing, when you learn by writing code, that's the best. And this is exactly what I also did. Instead of just reading theory and then for probably 2 to 3 months I'm just reading and then trying to do some problems on programming websites, I feel that's not good. If you want to learn stacks and queues, just start solving problems based on them. You have good tutorials, written tutorials, video tutorials. So use that, use the resources that you have available. And I feel that the best thing is by writing code. Also, the good thing is you have test cases, right? Which is
yeah,
so easy. A lot of every anyone can basically think about it. If you have test cases, anyone can write code and they can see whether it's correct or not just by clicking
yeah,
on a button, right? You
yeah,
don't need
okay,
manual verification. Don't need to go to some expert and validate. So use the resources that you have. There are so many websites. Even Geeks for Geeks has portal to run like
yeah,
solve problems online. So I feel that if you want to learn stacks and queues and start with the basics, just start by doing problems. That's the best thing.
okay, 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 understood. Uh, so let's move to the next question. That is, why do skilled candidates also fail in cracking interviews?
All right. Um, yeah, so this happens like you realize that, okay, you need to be good at certain things. Web development is important. Data structures algorithms are important. So you do all those things. You work really hard. And this is the same story with JE also. When you were preparing 2 years PCM, you did everything was done right. But then the same question is, why do even smart candidates were not able to get a seat in IIT? It's the same thing. A lot of people, they underperform when it's the final day, right? They're nervous and they have not yet learned in life the skill be calm and be productive and just deliver, at least deliver up to your potential. If you don't know something and you miss an opportunity, it's sad. But if you knew something and you still miss that opportunity, that's regret. And that's really sad. So the biggest thing is learn the ability to control yourself, to calm yourself down, and at least perform up to your potential. Okay, that's the first thing. And it has nothing to do with data structures, algorithms, or anything. That's a soft skill that you need to develop, and it will be helpful for the rest of your life. That's number one. Number two is communication. A lot of people know that the optimized solution is something like this. Everything is fine, but they're not able to communicate why they are doing certain things. They're not able to communicate their ideas with clarity. And again, everyone says, why do they ask data structures algorithms when in the job we don't need them?
Yeah,
The thing is, when you're explaining, communication is something we can judge how you're communicating your ideas. And exactly, you did solve the problem, but that's not something that we want you to do in the job. At the
yeah,
job, we want you to communicate with clarity within the team members, right? So I feel that communication is also something which you often miss. And I would say that definitely invest your time. Uh, how much you know, you should be able to reciprocate that to the listening person, to the person who is listening. And I feel that this is something which is really important and it's very underestimated. A lot of people, they just mess things up because of pressure or just because they were not able to communicate why they are doing certain things. They feel that they are explaining with clarity, but it's actually, so if they record and hear themselves back, they will actually understand that okay, this was not good. So think that this other person knows nothing, and you have to
Yeah.
explain to a child and take baby steps why you are doing certain things the way you are, and that would be really cool. So these are the two biggest things in which I feel that the people who are really skilled but they still fail, probably these two are the biggest buckets. There are other reasons as well. If you have experience and you are basically applying for some other job, at that point of time there are other factors also, like you did really good but there was someone, some Asian who is always better, right? So that kind of thing also
Yeah,
happened. There is some
absolutely.
Indian who was better and who applied. And there is also cost factors. Probably you are having 20 lakh per annum, and there is this other guy who is having 15 lakhs per annum, and they were able to close the deal with him in 25, whereas you were requesting 35. So
Okay.
all these things happen. And your prior experience, your prior education. So if there is the case that there are four candidates who performed equally well, they will start also looking, they will also start look at their past background, which college, which profile, which job, what are your results, has someone done open source work. So they see the authenticity of your profile, how good you really are. So all those things also happen.
Okay. So we should be doing soft skills too to improve our confidence. So can you give them some
Yep.
tips to improve confidence? Because I have also seen that many people they are not able to explain. They know the whole solution, they know the most optimized approach, still they are not able to explain to the other person. So any tips for that to improve?
um I feel I feel that you need to spend time with yourselves, in the
Yeah,
sense that there is always distractions when you are with friends. And if your
yeah,
friends are not supportive of your hard work, if they are teasing you for working hard, that let's have fun, let's go here, let's go there, let's do this, let's do that, yo bro, let's, and all those things, right? So if you are in such company, I feel that's the biggest problem, because you need a transformation as a personality. You need to be able to be comfortable in uncomfortable scenarios. Only then you start having that confidence that okay, you can handle things. And that's something which will only happen. First you have to cut off the negative energy that you have around, because otherwise it's very difficult to pull off such a huge transformation as a personality, because changes in personality is something which is really hard, right? Data structures, queues, stacks, graphs, you can learn very easily. But as I'm saying, like having this confidence that you can do it, this needs for you, like, some spend some time with yourselves and learn to be calm in uncomfortable situations first of all. Then the next thing is record yourselves. Like you have screen recordings, you have, just look at yourself in the mirror or use your phone devices, just record the audio and try to explain what you have solved, and then just hear it back. Is it making sense? Were you really, confused? Were you using a lot of were you doing all those things? Keep on doing that, you will get better eventually. I have seen a lot of creators. Even I started YouTube channel. One of the biggest win for me is my communication really improved quite a lot, just because I was recording videos. I wanted to do that with clarity. Only then people will follow you, right?
yeah, absolutely.
So that really helped me improve on this part, in which I was able to communicate my ideas clearly. So there are a lot of things. You can start a YouTube channel, you can start recording yourself just for the sake of yourselves. Once you feel that you are really doing good, you can also start becoming a content creator as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, these are few tips which will be.
That was absolutely great. I think many would be helped by this. Okay, so let's move to the next question. That how would a newbie start their journey to master data structures and algorithm? He only knows the basics of a particular language. Then how should he proceed?
Right. All right. As I have, I think I have covered this partially when I said that I believe the best learning is when you are writing code yourselves.
Yes.
Code is the absolute, like, it's a beautiful thing. I can, like, code never lies. You can see the code, everything is pretty much clear, what's happening, what's not. So develop this habit to read code, because
Okay.
this will help you in multiple ways. This will save you time in going through the all tutorials. if you just have a look at the code and you can understand that this is a skill which is going to help you a lot in a lot of places. You can just have a look at other people's code and you can understand what's happening. So this is exactly how I tried to understand segment trees also when I started with my journey. And I feel that you have a lot of resources, you have a lot of video tutorials, you have a lot of written tutorials.
Yeah.
First have a summary of what are the things that you need to cover. Like there are data structures and algorithms, right? What are the data structures? There are stacks, there are queues, there are trees, binary trees, there are graphs, there are so many things. There are segment trees, there are Fenwick trees, right? A lot of things.
Yeah.
Similarly, in algorithms, there are algorithms on graphs like Dijkstra and like flow algorithms, right? There are so many things. So first have a list of the topics, and if you want, I can share the links. We have extensive list of all these resources and how you can read about them. There are many websites which have great, you can say it's kind of a syllabus list, and with hyperlinks
Yeah.
for each thing, how you can learn that, right? And what are the problems
Yeah.
you can solve for that.
Yeah.
Then you can use the programming websites like Geeks for Geeks. Again, I have used Geeks for Geeks as well when I was in my second or third year, just to get an intuition of what are the different things which exist and what are they about, right? So dynamic programming is something which I heard in the first month itself of competitive programming, and there was this subset sum problem which I was going through at the Geeks for Geeks website, and I really couldn't understand why people are writing code in this fashion. Like arrays were just to access elements, right? But they are
Yeah.
using arrays in a fashion to optimize things, right? So
Yeah.
that whole notion, it was difficult for me to digest, but I spent time on that. So just pick a problem, pick a problem. If you are able to solve it, well and good. If not, read the concept on which it is based. If it's based on dynamic programming, go through that. Just hit a pause on the current problem, go through dynamic programming, feel comfortable with it, and then once you have learned that thing, come back and solve that problem, right? If you are
Okay.
doing contests, if you are able to solve 3 problems out of 5, let's start solving the fourth problem after the contest ends, and make sure you do that. You have to spend time in uncomfortable environment. Only then you will improve. That's the thing. You also have to spend time in comfortable situations in which you are able to solve problems. Doing that will help you gain, like, if you know how to solve a problem, doing that again will help you make sure that you are writing really fast code, and also if it's having errors or not. These two skills are also important. So if you solve problems which you already have or which you already know, even that is good. And also you have to spend time doing problems which you couldn't do before. Just do
Yeah.
these two things and you will see the results.
Ah, so that's fine. So suppose a person just started with dynamic programming. He is good
Mm.
with recursion, and then he was introduced with the thing known as memoization. Then he saw the subset sum problem, and he was not able to understand. So there are two things available to him. One is
Mm.
the tutorial that is written in text form, and the other is the video tutorial. So, which
Mm.
should be prioritized and how it should be done?
I
Which
think there
one
is a
should?
third option. I think there is a third option, which is using pen and paper and trying to use your brain and brainstorm why it's happening and why it's working. Take a small example and try to understand why that's happening. For subset sub problem, try to create every state yourselves for, let's say, 5 elements, right?
Yeah,
So just because you have options does not mean that you always use the help. It will make your brain lazy. Sometimes it's really good to also use your brain, do that exercise, do that mental exercise so that you can understand things. Only then you would be able to quickly understand the new concepts. Otherwise you will always fall back to tutorials and you will never be able to use your brain to solve the unknown problems. And in interviews, there are so many problems. There is very rare chance that you will be asked a problem that you have solved before, especially in competitive programming. The good thing about that is you gain the ability to solve problems that you were not able to, that you have not heard before.
yeah,
So functioning in the unknown area is something which is really important. And I would say first spend time yourself trying to understand and do that mental exercise. If still you're not able to do it, then I would say, like, if you are a video based person, I was a video based person earlier, but now I'm text based. So by the time I was video based, I always relied on videos. Even for electrical engineering, I used to go through the neptel videos on YouTube or some other concepts on YouTube, like from other YouTubers. So that really helped me a lot. Now I'm more into text based. So these days I do a lot of reading and less of videos. So yeah, it depends.
Yeah. So that was great. So let's move to the next question. That a newbie who has done only data structures and algorithms or CP and CP also and wants to get into development. So how
Okay.
he or she should proceed and which tech stack should he or she choose?
I feel that we have again a lot of playlists on YouTube, as well as other platforms like Udemy and Udacity, Coursera, right? So you have good video resources, and I feel that over there, again, video is something which will be really helpful if you are just starting with it, because you can also set it and they can run the app, and then they can show what are the results. They make more changes to the app, and then they show the results, right? So I feel video based tutorials for beginners is
Yeah,
something they can leverage to get their journey started with web development. Again, there are roadmap videos based on that. HTML, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery is enough for you to build a portfolio website. And then you can, if you are into front end, you can pick some framework like React. It's really hot these days. There are other frameworks also like Vue.js, but I feel React is a good option. It has a lot of job opportunities. And also like later down the road, if you're good with JavaScript and you're good with one framework, you kind of get the idea of good practices and good tools. And if you change to Angular, you should be able to do that with a little bit of digging and learning of Angular concepts. So for front end, I have again told HTML, CSS, JavaScript are the basics. Then you can probably pick React. It's really good. And talking about backend, I feel Python can be a good choice. But if you are already doing JavaScript, I feel that Node.js is a good option just by doing JavaScript. And it will open a lot of gates for you and opportunities.
yeah,
You can pick only front end, you can do only back end, or you can do both. So JavaScript is something which I would highly recommend.
right, right.
And again,
So
like there are
first,
like Traversy Media and so many YouTubers who are doing great work. They are making great tutorials, and that can be leveraged to get started. And then once you are good, I feel that you should do one project, at least one or two projects.
okay,
Probably if you are into backend, you can do some library management or something. And in front end, you can do some project like portfolio website. But do not just keep on doing such things. Do not build apps from scratch on your own. I feel that it's a good choice to start with open source.
yeah,
After you have certain skills, start with open source, because these are already fully built apps, and if you contribute to them,
okay,
it's really good because you don't have to do a lot of groundwork. Everything is done. You just are improving the product further. So you're working with teams. You'll get to know what are code reviews, how to work with team members, how to communicate. So open source is something that you should focus next.
okay. So we should be focusing on open source rather from starting from the scratch itself. Ah, fair enough. So let's move to the next question. That is how much time is required to prepare for core subjects? And what's your take on that?
Right. Exactly. Because the quality of such projects would be really good.
Absolutely. Am I audible?
Hello.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I was talking about. So till how much I was audible? May I please know?
Yeah. I can hear you.
Okay, fair enough. So let's move to the next question. That is, how much
Yeah.
time is required to prepare for core subjects like DBMS, operating system, these all things? Oops.
Um. All right. So this is something which I also had to go through because I was from electrical engineering. and I did minors in computer science, but these core subjects like DBMS and OS, they came in third and fourth year, while internships and companies, they come after second year, right? So I had to be prepared beforehand, although I was going to read about such subjects in my upcoming in my upcoming semesters, but you are being examined before that, so I had to prepare for them myself. Um, I really did not spend quite a long time in these, because most of the companies which were coming to hire for internships, they were only asking problems based on data structures and algorithms, and then they were discussing my projects which I had done in Android and front end and back end. So luckily, I was not asked much questions based on DBMS or OS. But since I was already doing web development, I was familiar with the DBMS part. OS is something which I had not prepared for, and I only prepared for that while I was in my third year, and I had a subject on OS. I feel that that was the easiest and best thing that could have happened to me, because it really took a lot of time to just do electrical engineering, data structures, algorithms, machine learning, and then the web development part. Having even more time how to create that, I was not sure. So I was really, you can say, lucky enough that I had this as a core subject itself, because I just had to go to classes and the professor was teaching the concepts, and I was really happy that my like the fourth year is already prepared now for placements. I could do a really good job. So the semester was of 3 to 4 months, and I feel that if you really want to be good and you want to start from scratch, there are few concepts in OS that you can understand which are really important. What are processes? What are threads? What is a deadlock? Right? What are the race conditions? How to avoid deadlocks? What are locks? What are semaphores? Um, what is a process cycle? How does process is scheduled? What is RAM? What is virtualization? What are page segments? So these are some things which you should be aware, and I feel if you have a week, it should be enough if you just go through the videos on YouTube.
Okay, okay.
And DBMS, I feel that normalization and MySQL, I feel this is something which you will learn while you are doing web development. So
Yeah,
anything extra for that is just 2 or 3 extra days. That's it. Just to
yeah.
get
So
basic.
we should be having a 15 days span of time so that we can revise
That should
as well as just complete the thing.
that should be good.
Fair enough. So let's move to the next question. That is how to balance solving problems and learning new concepts. So, like, suppose I just saw what is subset sum. So I should be moving on to learning memorization, then iterative DP. So how should I do that?
Yeah, I feel that since in your college you are going to solve hundreds of problems, um, it you can do a random approach. If you want,
Okay.
if you are interested, so if you did subset some problem, if dynamic programming or memorization is something that really you liked, you can solve more problems using memorization and not worry about the iterative version. You can say that, okay, I will do this later, because if you are able to make progress, your confidence is rising, right? And if you solve more and more problems, that's the best thing. So once you have picked some concept, I would say just do 4 to 5 problems on that, because your confidence is going to increase and you will gain more clarity on that. Later on, when you have enough time and you are bored with, and or you feel that you have covered one concept to some great depth, at that moment of time it's a good signal that now you can move on to something else, and you can now start learning something new. Probably you can now start learning graphs, right? So in this way you will be having the new concepts, you will be reading about them, you will be solving more problems. So if you learned about graphs, start with some basic problems, solve 5 or 3 problems, then probably start with Dijkstra and do at least 3 or 4 problems, right? And later on you can also do revision kind of thing. Now after 2 3 months you can say that, okay, I let's remember if I can solve problems on graphs again. So again, do 3 or 4 more different problems on Dijkstra and see if you can do it now. So do this concept, like surprise yourselves that it's not that you're learning theory, revising theory, and only then you're solving problems. Surprise yourself with going back in time, and when you learned some concept 2 months back, do that problem now. Do problems based on that concept now. So that's something really good. Also, just to increase your speed and confidence. Also, do the problems on which you're really good. So if you're good with dynamic programming, solve more problems so that your speed and not making mistakes, those things are also improving.
No, fair.
Last thing is also do contests, and by doing contests you're doing problem solving, and you're not able to solve all the problems in the contest. So simultaneously you will also learn new things while when you will do upsolving, which is solving the problems you couldn't solve. So try to solve one problem from each contest that you are not able to solve. So this way you're doing both problem solving as well as learning new concepts.
Okay, understood. That was great. So let's move to the next question because we have little bit of time then. So
Yep.
last 30 days strategy to coding interviews once a candidate has practiced good amount of DSA and as well as problem solving too. So how
Right,
should he
right.
proceed in that case?
Right. So this is the time when you feel that you are all set. 1 month is left. Companies are going to come. I feel that's when you should focus on the two things because of which skill candidates fail in interviews, which is the communication part, and second is not underperforming from your potential.
Okay.
Have that ability to be calm, and when you are having a difficult situation, instead of saying, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, I'm stuck, everything is going to be bad from this point, I have missed this opportunity, oh, I'm wasting time, the interviewer is sitting and I'm thinking all this. So this does happen, I can understand that, but learn this ability to not do that and actually try to understand and assess what is the current situation, where are you stuck, reiterate that with the interviewer, that okay, I feel that this is the problem, this is how far we have reached, and this is where we are stuck, right? So do this communication verbally, not just in your mind with the interviewer, so that they can understand that even when you are stuck, you are able to assess and try to think of how to move forward from here instead of just giving up. So practice these two things, I would say, because this can totally change the results.
Yeah, yeah, quite well understood and quite well explained. So a question, Sumit asks this question: is it good to start with machine learning in sixth semester to get good job at MNC? Is DSA or CP helpful in machine learning?
All right. So first of all, I have not seen companies asking ML questions because they are kind of hiring for software developer profile and not machine learning profile. So a lot of job opportunities would be open if you do data structures, algorithms, and web development part, right? However, if there is any company which is solely based on machine learning and that's what they're going to ask in their test, that's something then obviously you have to spend time with, and you should definitely. And if you're like you are pretty much sure that I want to pursue a career in ML, so of course you need to do that, and you can later on get a job, or you can go for higher education and then probably get a job.
Yes,
So for just job prospect, I think we have covered that what you need to prioritize.
yes, yes. So it's done. So let's move
And
to the next question.
regarding, I think the other part was whether DSA is helpful in machine learning.
Yeah,
I feel that yes, because since problem solving is something which raises your confidence in understanding new concepts as well as the ability to write code, because ML is not just verbal things, you have to ultimately write code. So yeah, little bit helpful because again, it's kind of programming skills also that you acquire from that. So yeah, little bit helpful. Also, there is math involved in ML. So yep, it's helpful.
so the basic essence of coding can be used in ML.
Yeah, and also like programming also makes your mind a bit more. I would say mathematics and programming. I feel they are relatable. Data structures algorithms are also related to maths for me, and ML is something which is based on both of them. So yeah, it helps.
Uh, so seems like the next person is quite familiar with Python. So he's asking that can he use Python for data structures and algorithm, web development as well as machine learning, and get a good job in MNC. He doesn't want to learn any other languages other than Python.
The answer is yes, 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 and yes, because there are a lot of job opportunities for Python. You can do DSA in Python. You can do web development. I mean, there you can say backend is obviously Django is there. You have Flask. There are a lot of frameworks, and the community support is good for Python. The documentation is pretty great. Machine learning, again, PyTorch. There are so many libraries built on Python which help software engineers do the ML part. So yeah, it's a good choice. And if you're talking about competitive programming, Python is not a good choice, and that is different. Hello. Ah, damn it. Hello. I think the stream is stuck.
Okay. Am I audible now?
Yep, I can hear you. I could hear you just when you said, "Can you hear me?" And now I can't hear you. All right, I think that I have taken over on the stream. So,
Yeah. So the next question is, I'm a second year CSE student, just a newbie on Code Forces, and just tried basics of web and machine learning. What should I follow to ace both CP and internship in next semester?
okay, so second year student, newbie on Code
Yeah,
Forces, they have tried basics of web development and machine learning. Machine learning, I'm not sure how is
yeah,
it relevant, but okay. And they want to ace both competitive programming and internship in next sem. Next sem, I mean, there is enough time, and probably start with. So there is this syllabus list that we have talked about, right? Stacks,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
queues, trees, binary trees, all those things. So I feel that start with each topic, solve 5 to 10 different problems. Let's say 5 easy, 5 medium, 3 hard. So do these for each topics, and this will need time. How much time? It depends on you. How good you are up to now. How good you are in learning new skills, and how good you are in writing bugless code. All these things when combined together will ensure that you reach that step in which you can, so basically you have to beat the competition in your college, right?
yeah, yeah,
So go through the ratings of other members in your college, try to get a notion of how good you need to be, and based on
yeah,
that, let's just start solving more and more problems until you are able to compete with them.
yeah,
And you need to really spend time, instead of saying that okay, there are 20 people ahead of me, 10 people ahead of me. Just work on yourselves, just start doing problems, start doing contests, because the time part is also important. I have seen 45 minutes, two problems, people not able to do it. They were able to get close, they were able to just not get so they were getting partially correct answers in the
yeah,
tests, not able to get all the test pass, and they were like, "बस 5 मिनट मिल जाता और तो हो जाता." So that also matters. So do contests, because that's a timed environment. You have that stress, and your mind needs to be adapted, and it needs to be adapted to that deadline kind of thing, and still work and solve the problem at hand. So do those things. Pick topic, stacks, queues, trees, graphs. Pick them. Dynamic programming. There are so many things. Go through each topic. Select problems based on that. Solve 5 easy, 5 medium, 3 hard, and just keep on repeating that. You will be good in both competitive programming as well as for the internship.
okay, okay, fair enough. That was great. So let's move to the next question. That is how to develop recursion and backtracking. Okay, he was stuck at this point, and can he do DSA and development both simultaneously? What should be the way?
I feel recursion and backtracking is something that you should definitely do on your own. It's if you go through videos, it's just kind of an ease. But I feel that doing these things on your own will be a great mental exercise. You will develop the skill to imagine difficult things, and this will help you learn other difficult things very easily. So recursion and backtracking, there will be that aha moment in which you will say, oh, I now understand what this recursion is, how it's functioning. And I also have few videos on dynamic programming and memorization, which is
Yeah.
based on recursion, in which I explain this very beautifully. So I feel that just go through that once, it will really help you understand the gist. And then I feel that you should do this journey, something that should be for you to take, and not the videos. That will really help you. It's a very great mental exercise. So if you're stuck, use pen and paper and solve this. You need to develop that ability in which you are stuck, but using pen and paper, you are able to take baby steps. Do backtracking for very small number of, just don't do it for 100,000, do it for 10, 5, 3, 4. Try to see how it's functioning, and it's beautiful, and you will do this exercise on your own, and you will understand this, and this will definitely help you. So do this on your own. Other than that, you are saying, can I do DSA and development both simultaneously? Of course. I used to get bored from competitive programming often because I was not having good rating after the contest. I was nervous. I was not able to perform. The rating was declining. At that point of time, I always ensured I'm still doing upsolving, in which I'm learning a new problem. But I kind of was not that much excited for that, and I was really happy that I have other options, that I could now do development. So I used to do in that phase, like I'm enjoying DSA, I'm doing that. I got bored from it. I'm doing web development, and if I have picked some project, I just wanted to finish it so that I can go back to DSA again. So just don't open threads. If you're picking something in development, if you're starting a project, make sure you complete it. And definitely you can do both simultaneously. You can you can fix time that 1.5 hour, which is 90 minutes. It's kind of a good
Okay.
time to solve three problems, I believe.
Yeah.
Or if you are solving difficult problems, you can solve one problem and read the underlying concept and
Yeah.
still solve that problem. So do that 90 minutes, or let's say 120 minutes, and then you can still probably start watching tutorials on React, for example, right?
Okay.
So I think they can go hand in hand. That's not a problem.
Okay. Thanks. So the next question is how to stop distraction. I'm in my fourth semester now and I'm not newbie. So how can he do well?
By distraction, if what like there are so many distractions people have in engineering colleges. It can be because of your relationships, it can be because of the lack of confidence, or it can be because of, there are so many things like Netflix and gaming and whatnot, or your friend. What is the environment? Are you going to trips, or you are just wasting time having chatting and all those things? So I feel that if your friend circle is not good, you should definitely just limit yourselves a bit and try to find people who are career oriented and hardworking, because environment really matters. If you are still not able to develop control or discipline, there are ways in which uh, you can actually make it difficult for you to do those things. So if you are if you were using, let's say, a mobile a lot, so when you are sleeping, just keep your mobile very far away from you, or under the bed, for example, so that it's already winter, so you don't have that much energy also to stand up and go. And so that's the last thing. Or you can deactivate your accounts. Always used to feel why people need to do that, because I've seen a lot of my friends who used to deactivate Facebook for 2 or 3 days or 1 week and then come back. And I felt that they are sometimes it's kind of just for attention. They just want to get attention, that we have deactivated, and it's kind of a personal attack on someone, so that they want to know the other person notices this or not. um, I never got that, but I feel that a lot of people do that because it really disturbs their mind, and they want to focus on their work, and because of that they're doing it, so that it's one step difficult for them to log in again. Which makes sense, which I can understand now, that it's okay for different people. They have different kind of temptations. It's affecting their mood differently. So if deactivating such things help you, then that's another way.
Yeah. The thing which you told, that keeping the phone aside while you are going to sleep, that I use a lot. I use that in my daily life. Okay.
I
So
I
the next
I have done that maybe one or twice, but I am also like, okay, that's fine. Like basically, I am quite chill now. Up to now, like basically, I'm happy with where I am, and now I'm kind of
okay.
in, you can say, vacation mode. Uh, like the whole 2021 for me was kind of on vacation mode in which I was enjoying things and spending time just relaxing and enjoying things which I wanted to for so long. So yeah.
Okay. So the next person is in second year, third
Uh-huh.
semester, and their college teacher teaches them OOPS in C++. So should he complete it or leave it and then complete DSA first? So which should be prioritized? Attending classes now or doing the DSA part?
Man, I had to go into electrical engineering and they were teaching us how to measure, like there are electricity poles and there is wire. So we were doing math calculations on based on the distance and the tensile strength, how much will the wire bend. And I was like, I want to be a software developer. Why am I doing this? If someone is teaching you oops in C++, you learn that. Okay, it's a luxury. If you are getting that kind of environment, obviously attend classes. Classes are not happening 24 hours, 12 hours, man. It's just 1 or 2 hours, right? So definitely attend
Yeah.
that if you are having that kind of luxury, because not everyone has that. And DSA is again like you should also do oops. If classes are teaching you oops, do that, do DSA, and then you can also do web development. Why can't you do everything? What's the
Okay.
pain point? Just let me know that.
Yeah, absolutely. We would ask him and pass the reason to you. Okay. So next, which programming language would be good to solve DSA problems on online judges?
Okay, on online judges, I feel C++ is quite good. Why? Because
Yeah.
a lot of people use C++ to solve DSA problems in online judges. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, yeah, I'm talking in that perspective. If you just want to practice, I feel JavaScript is fine, Python is fine. But on online judges, this is good. Why? Because if you're not able to solve, other people's code will be in C++ most probably or Java, which are these are the two most popular languages. Also, the tutorials, written tutorials, are also mostly in these two languages. I'm not sure of Geeks or Geeks, but back then when I was there, it was always C or C++.
Okay.
So that's one thing. Other thing is you have very good STL support in C++, also in
Yeah.
Java, which you can leverage, which is not readily available in other programming languages like JavaScript, for example. So if you want to use a set, uh, you have multi-sets also in C++, and you have bunch of data structures which are available via STL, but that's not the case with JavaScript. Also, in online judges, you do not have the ability to add the third-party library, right? So in that sense, you kind of get restricted in certain questions.
A person who is into competitive programming, he has heard a lot or he has read a lot of comments that the same code is kind of getting an AC for a Python, for a C++ code, and the same thing is written in Python and it is getting a TLE verdict.
Yep.
So, what is the reason for that? And in this scenario, what should he do?
Yeah, I feel that's a bad day for you if you are using the slow language, which is Python in this case. So C++ is notorious for its speed. And even when you're talking about low latency firms, like high frequency trading is something which uses C++ quite a lot because of its speed. Um, I feel that still, if you have developed a lot of time with Python, there are many job opportunities. Also, no one cares when you are giving online tests because it's rarely the case in which you get stuck just because the language was slow. If your algorithm is slow, obviously that's on you. But if the algorithm is correct, it's optimized and it's still not
Yeah,
failing, it's still failing or not getting accepted. It's something which is kind of a rare event, and
yeah,
it happens mostly in competitive programming, but not in
yeah,
hiring questions. So just call it a bad day. And if your aim is competitive programming, which is a sport, ICPC and something is something which few
yeah.
people want to do. They want to go to the world finals and all those things. For that, definitely just never do Python for that because Python is slow and not all websites respect it. So for HackerRank has 5x or 3x time limit for Python submissions as compared to C++.
Yeah.
Not every website will do that, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, that's the case.
Oh.
The reverse thing also happens in some cases because the time limit was very flexible for Python. Sometimes
Okay.
brute force solutions in Python gets accepted, so that also happens.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move to the last question from the audience. That is, the person is in sixth semester, and in next semester he has placement, and he doesn't have enough development knowledge, and he is low on communication skills. So how can he get good placement?
I feel you should spend time if you have friends who can do kind of mock interviews for you. That's the best thing. Otherwise, there are platforms like Pramp in which you can do mock interviews. I feel that's very important for you to do to improve your communication skills. Otherwise, record yourself. Record a screencast in which you're solving problem and explaining, and watch it and see where you're. So the thing is, people miss a lot of points. They say that okay, so I'll pick the last element, and they forget to mention that they have sorted the array. That was crucial. Interviewer does not know that you have sorted the array in your mental mind, right? So you need to be very verbal when you are in an interview, and that needs practice in which you can record yourselves and hear how you are doing, or record just the audio and hear how you're explaining things. And uh, people are also running during interviews. They are running
Yeah,
on to the third and fourth step when they have not yet finished explaining the first step. So
yeah,
be calm, create a positive environment in which you are taking small baby steps, and the other person is enjoying, because he will be able to understand what you are saying. Otherwise, if you keep on jumping here and there, we'll do this, we'll do that. Give other person also the time to understand your thoughts and have a good communication with them. So that's the communication part. Do that. Development knowledge again. If companies are coming already and they are asking based on DS and algo, just practice that, right? Solve problems easy, medium, and hard on that. And if you already have done some projects, you have something in your resume, well and good. If not, it's very difficult to have something meaningful in which you're learning as well as adding something in your resume. Because even if you do that, if someone asks you some fundamentals about that language in which you have built the project, that's a very bad impression, right?
yeah,
So if you can spend 2 weeks doing the web development part and come up with some project in which you know the ins and outs, that's good. 2 weeks are enough for you to do something, at least something, to add something in your profile. So yeah,
yeah.
do that.
Okay. So the next question is, what is the best resource to study topic-wise in competitive programming? I get many resources in which problems are jumbled, but I want to practice topic-wise in competitive programming. Can you tell me any resource?
Yeah, there are. I feel that the topic wise will vary for different people. It might happen that out of 10 topics, you are familiar with three, someone is familiar with five, someone is familiar with seven, right? So have your own to do list of the topics that you are not good at, and you can search problems based on tags. So this is something which a lot of people, including me, have covered on their YouTube channels. How to search problems. It's very easy. Just go to any problem. Say that I want to solve problems. So if you are weak with dynamic programming, search the tag dynamic programming on these online judges and sort them based on difficulty, and start solving 5 7 easy problems. Start solving medium and then hard.
Okay,
That's the best advice that I can give. And also like up solving, give contest, see what you couldn't solve, read about that and solve it. Yep, that should be good.
okay, sure. That was absolutely great. Any resource you would like to mention, or we should use the site itself?
Yeah, there are a lot of websites. I feel Codeforces is good, Artcoder is good, LeadCode is also good. So there are a lot of websites that you can use to do this. Geeks for Geeks is also having the topic wise list
Yeah.
and list of problems. So there are many websites, and I feel the problems are also quite similar on all of them.
Fair. So the questions, there are a lot of questions coming in, but they are kind of very repetitive. So we
Okay.
would be kind of winding up the session by a last minute tip from your side, a person who is kind of trying to ace the interviews. How should the tip for him?
I feel that change your mindset to not just get the job, but to be really good at what you want to do. So if you want to pursue a career in software engineering, spend time learning the basics, work on your skills, because if you start doing it now, it will help you really change jobs and get to a really good job within 1 or 2 years, right? The journey never stops, and if you get a good job now and you do not like, or you do not invest time in being good, so you will like something only when you're good at it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, everything will be okay. I don't know this, why it's happening. Why am I doing this? Oh, okay, I'm getting money out of it. Yeah, okay, I know why I'm doing this. But you can look at it the other way also. You can actually enjoy something when you're really good at it. So do that. Work on your skills. That's it.
Yeah. So we should be clear with what we want.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So that was it from our side. So I don't think any other questions is coming. Yeah. So have the repetitive question. So we would be winding up now.
All
So
right.
that's it. Thank you, Rachit. It was great talking to you.
Thank you so much
Thanks.
for having me over here, Siddharth. I enjoyed speaking with you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Okay. Thanks. We would be now removing you from the stream. So that was it from Rachit. I hope that you have now more knowledge how to ace an interview. Thanks a lot. Have a nice day.